97% of people will never be truly wealthy. Not because the economy is rigged against them, not because they weren't born into the right family, not because they didn't work hard enough, but because of something far more uncomfortable than any of those excuses. Something that lives entirely inside their own mind. And in this video, we are going to break down exactly what separates the 3% who build real, lasting wealth from the 97% who spend their entire lives wondering why it never happened to them. This is not a video about stock tips or side hustles. This is a video about the invisible lines that most people never even know they are trapped behind. Let's get into it. First, let's look at the reality of wealth in 2026. The average American is carrying $104,000 in debt across mortgages, credit cards, auto loans, and student loans. 35% of Americans have maxed out their credit cards. And yet, in the same country, at the same time, there are more self-made millionaires than at any point in human history. So what is actually happening here? If the system is the same for everyone, if the economy is the same for everyone, why do some people build extraordinary wealth while the overwhelming majority never escape financial stress? The answer is not what most people expect. It is not income. Studies consistently show that high earners who don't manage their money correctly end up financially vulnerable despite impressive salaries. Meanwhile, people with modest incomes who consistently spend less than they earn, eliminate debt, and invest patiently build real wealth over time. The scoreboard that matters is not your paycheck. It is the gap between what you own and what you owe. And that gap is controlled entirely by your mindset. So let's talk about the 7 reasons why 97% of people never build wealth. Not as judgment, but as a mirror. Because every single one of these reasons is something you can change, starting today. Reason number 1, they have a scarcity mindset. A scarcity mindset is an internal story filled with fear, doubt, and limiting beliefs about money. It sounds like this: money is hard to come by. Rich people are just lucky. People like me don't get wealthy. These beliefs operate quietly in the background of every financial decision a person makes. And the devastating thing about a scarcity mindset is that it is self-fulfilling. When you believe wealth is not available to you, you unconsciously avoid the very decisions that would create it. You stay in the safe job, you don't make the investment, you talk yourself out of the opportunity before anyone else even has a chance to say no. Wealth starts in your head long before it shows up in your bank account. Thoughts and beliefs affect choices, and choices lead to results. People who build wealth tend to have an abundant mindset, positive, resilient, and willing to take calculated risks. Not reckless, calculated. The shift from scarcity to abundance is not about pretending problems don't exist. It is about asking different questions. Instead of, why does nothing ever work out for me? Ask, what can I learn from this, and how do I move forward? Successful people regularly ask how they can grow, what skills they can learn, and how they can move forward even when times are tough. These questions push them toward action and responsibility. Reason number 2, they think like employees, not owners. This is one of the most critical psychological differences between the 3% and the 97%. The 97% trade time for money. They show up, they work, they get paid, they spend, they repeat. The 3% think like owners. The wealthiest individuals in any society are not necessarily the highest earners. They are the ones who consistently convert income into appreciating assets. Real estate, index funds, business ownership. These are not just financial vehicles, they are mindset vehicles. They represent the shift from how much can I earn to how much can I own. Self-made millionaires often have multiple streams of income. Having 3 to 7 income streams is not uncommon, including a primary salary, side businesses, rental income, dividend income, and royalties. Think about that. While the 97% depend entirely on one paycheck, the 3% have built systems that earn for them around the clock. The goal is not to work harder. The goal is to own things that work while you rest. Reason number 3, they avoid discomfort. Building wealth requires doing things that feel uncomfortable, saying no to unnecessary spending when others are spending freely, investing money when the market feels scary, starting a business when failure is possible, having honest conversations about money with a partner. The powerful mindset shift that separates people who build wealth from those who stay trapped in scarcity is getting comfortable with discomfort. The 97% choose the path of least resistance at every financial fork in the road. The 3% have learned to move toward discomfort because they understand that every uncomfortable financial decision they make today is an investment in the version of their life they want tomorrow. Reason number 4, they let emotions drive financial decisions. Fear and greed are the two most expensive emotions in personal finance. Fear keeps people out of the market when they should be investing. It makes them sell when prices drop, locking in losses instead of riding out the recovery. Greed makes people chase hot investments. It convinces them to put everything into one speculative bet because someone on the internet said it would make them rich overnight. The marshmallow test famously demonstrated that children who delayed gratification achieved better life outcomes. This capacity remains central to wealth building. Millionaires excel at choosing future benefits over present pleasures. This doesn't mean deprivation, it means intentionality. The 3% spend freely on things that genuinely matter to them, while ruthlessly eliminating expenses that don't. The difference is never the income, the difference is always the intention. Reason number 5, they never develop a financial identity. The most fundamental millionaire mindset principle involves shifting identity rather than just setting goals. Saying, "I am the type of person who saves 30% of my income," proves more powerful than a goal of save $50,000 this year. The identity statement changes self-concept, making wealth-building behaviors feel authentic rather than forced. Think about that for a moment. Goals are fragile. When you miss a goal, you feel like a failure. When you miss an identity, you just recalibrate and get back on track. The 97% set financial goals and abandon them. The 3% build financial identities and live them. You are not someone who is trying to save money. You are a person who builds wealth, full stop. Reason number 6, they surround themselves with the wrong people. This one is uncomfortable, but it is true. Few achieve success in isolation. The people you surround yourself with shape your mindset, habits, and opportunities. If everyone in your circle complains about money, normalizes debt, and never talks about investing, those attitudes become your baseline. You stop questioning financial behaviors that should be questioned. You accept financial stress as just the way life is. The 3% deliberately seek out people who are further along the financial journey, not to impress them, but to learn from them, to normalize wealth building, to have their baseline expectations raised. You do not need to abandon your existing relationships, but you do need to add voices to your life that challenge you financially. Books, podcasts, channels like this one, mentors, communities. And this is the deepest one. They confuse being busy with building wealth. High earners who don't track their net worth often find themselves financially vulnerable despite impressive salaries. Busyness is the enemy of wealth. Most people are incredibly busy. 2 jobs, family responsibilities, social commitments, the endless scroll of distraction. But busy and productive are not the same thing. You can be exhausted every single day and make zero financial progress if the actions you are taking are not the right actions. The 3% are ruthlessly intentional about their time. They understand that wealth is built through specific, consistent actions repeated over years, not through exhausting random effort. Wealth is built through consistent execution over time, not through flawless planning. The person who starts investing with a simple index fund strategy at 25 will almost always outperform the genius who spends a decade designing the theoretically optimal portfolio. Done is always better than perfect. Started is always better than planned. So now the real question, how do you join the 3%? Not someday, not when you earn more, not when the timing is right, now. Because the timing is never going to be perfect, and waiting for perfect timing is the most expensive habit the 97% share. Here is what the 3% actually do differently in practical terms. First, they track their net worth every single month.
Not their income, their net worth, the gap between what they own and what they owe. Because you cannot improve what you do not measure. Start this week. Write down everything you own and everything you owe. That number, however uncomfortable it is your starting line, not your finish line. Second, they pay themselves first. Before bills, before spending, before anything else, a fixed percentage of every dollar that comes in goes directly to savings and investments. Not what is left over at the end of the month, because there is never anything left over at the end of the month for the 97%. The 3% make the investment non-negotiable and build their lifestyle around what remains. Third, they own assets before they own luxuries. The 3% do not drive the expensive car before they own investments that generate passive income. They do not upgrade the house before their money is working for them. They build the asset base first. Then, and only then, do they enjoy the lifestyle the assets fund. Fourth, they invest in their own financial education relentlessly. Building sustainable wealth requires mastering core investing principles, compound interest, asset allocation, diversification, risk management. Not perfectly, not all at once, but consistently. One concept at a time, one book at a time, one decision at a time. The 97% think financial education is boring. The 3% understand that financial education is the highest returning investment they will ever make. Fifth, they start before they feel ready. This is the hardest one and the most important. The perfect moment to build wealth does not exist. There will always be debt to pay off first, a raise coming that makes it easier to start later, a market that feels too high to enter now, a busy season that will end soon. These are all stories, and the 97% have been telling themselves these stories for years. The 3% start imperfectly. They invest $50 a month when they wish they could invest $5,000. They begin the side hustle in an hour a day when they wish they had 40. They begin before they are ready, because beginning is what makes them ready. 97% of people will never be wealthy, but you are not reading statistics right now. You are watching a video about changing your financial future, which means you have already done something that most people never do. You asked the question. The gap between the 3% and the 97% is not talent, it is not luck, it is not even money. It is the decision, made once and then remade every single day, to think differently about money than the world around you is thinking. That decision starts now. That decision starts with you. If this video shifted something in how you think about wealth, hit that like button. It helps this channel reach more people who need to hear this. And if you are not subscribed to Wealth Shift yet, this is the channel that will keep challenging the way you think about money every single week. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and we will see you in the next one.